touch the box in front of you till the red light comes on, sorry. Actually, Jackie, I don't think yours is on. Push
Hit your
the-
button. Right.
Nope,
Yeah, where it
well,
says-
down.
Oh, down
There
here.
you go. Now I think we're mic'd. So don't say that.
Very good.
Just leave that up to me.
Got it.
We will call Bellbrook Village Review Board, October 5th, 2021 to order.
Right. Ms. Taylor,
Here.
Mr. Camp,
Here.
Mrs. Greenwood,
Here.
Mrs. McGill,
Here.
Chairman Owens.
Here. And welcome to Miss Taylor.
Yes, welcome.
Thank you.
Move for approval of the minutes of August the 3rd.
I motion to approve the minutes from August 3rd.
I second.
A motion was made by Mr. Camp to approve the minutes from August 3rd, 2021, and this was seconded by Mrs. Greenwood. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Very good. Seeing no old business, we can move on to new business. I guess I jumped ahead with introducing our new member, Lakeisha Taylor.
Hello. Want me to begin? Who are you? Well, I'm Keisha Taylor, and I just want to say thank you for allowing me to be a part of the village board, and I look forward to what the next 3 years bring. Yeah,
We're glad to have you.
thank you.
Very good. And we can move on with VRB 21-80 for 100 East Franklin Street, an update, free input for planning board. Is this you, sir?
It sure is. Thank you. Good evening, everybody. As you recall, the board had previously been involved in reviewing for approval of the demolition of the structure that was on 100 East Franklin. And the purpose of tonight, as noted, is for an update and also pre-input for the planning board process. What we plan to do is take comments and/or recommendations and input from this board and incorporate that into the official record and comments of the planning board case as part of the process for any revitalization and/or projects done within the village district. So we certainly appreciate the efforts and put into it thus far for this great opportunity for some redevelopment in the downtown area. So as noted, the demolition of the structure is complete, if you haven't seen, and the owner is preparing to begin move forward with redevelopment. That redevelopment involves splitting the lot into 3 separate parcels or lots, and it would be 54-foot lots. And looking at those dimensions, it matches dimensions of several current residential lots within that area, especially the eastern part of Franklin there. The applicant information is the current owner of the land, the developer, and the proposed builder of the homes when we get to that. Now, I will note, as kind of a disclaimer and/or in our comment, this is very conceptual in terms of any type of placement of structures, size of structures. We're really looking right now at just lot splits. Until the lot split is done, then at that point in time, the developer will be submitting for site plans and basic development plans to get into a little bit more of the details, and we'll certainly be bringing that information back. But there are some conceptual designs just for some update again and initial input that we have for you tonight. It's currently zoned as a B4 Central Business District, and within that, it is a permitted use for all residential uses, as noted there. The next steps would be scheduling the applicant for the planning board meeting for the lot split. There is no rezoning that carried over in my computer, so sorry about that if there's any confusion. There is not going to be any rezoning requests, no need. The reason for request, again, is a redevelopment for the highest and best use of the site and to meet within the goals of redevelopment in the area, as well as the fact that the property previously was blighted, abandoned, and there was one need for removal. Surrounding land use is a mix of light retail, business, and residential. The comprehensive plan applied to this particular area Redevelopment does fit within the goals listed in the comprehensive plan, and paraphrase and quoting from it, a mixture of uses ranging from single-family to commercial strip development, and downtown represents a core of social life and economic vitality of a community. So with it being new residential structures where people can live and have walkability and access to the downtown features, this again fits right within it and is certainly welcome. Existing public utilities are there. Soil survey data, the owner will survey for compactness as well as suitability for structural development and building of a structure on it. Classification of streets, the thoroughfare plans include accessibility with sidewalks and driveway street access, and there's no plan improvements needed based on this development. Floodplain information is noted on one of the diagrams. There is a small portion of the back part of one of the odd-shaped lots that is within that, but again, that's within a drainage easement, and there's not going to be any structures placed on that as well. We will be making recommendation to the planning board to approve the request, and of course would encourage and ask the VRB to support and provide any comments for the input on that planning board meeting here coming up. In the packet, there are a couple of diagrams. One is without kind of proposed conceptual building locations, and one with. We did have a letter sent in to be included as comments for this particular thing, and we're going to carry that email all the way through when it is appropriate for public comments, if that individual is or is not available for the planning board and for the public hearing. But if I'm not sure if we distributed that to each member or if we are including it in the packet. I believe everybody got that.
I didn't get it, but Forrest did.
Oh, okay, very good. So we were able to get it. So the concerns of that resident is the residential resident to the direct east is, again, what was in the packet is just very conceptual, and the developer just wanted to place something to just kind of show how, it's not even to scale really, how something could be situated. The way that the type of structure that they want to build is situated, has a garage to the rear. So just kind of wanted to show that there's a separation of two structures on the site. The possibility of, once he evaluates the actual site itself, identifying and finalizing some actual dimensions of the structures, certainly open to consider making sure that it is best suited on the site, adapted into the residential area, and taking consideration of the existing neighbors. So again, nothing here is set in stone. It is just conceptual, and the residents' comments will certainly be considered, and again, the developer is more than amicable to make sure that their project fits within the community and is a good neighbor to the existing residents and businesses there. One other thing that I just wanted to pass down, again, this is not included in the packet because these are kind of documents from the developer, and I would just ask to collect these back. The reason being is we wouldn't want a photograph or something associated and actually show that this is something that it's actually going to be, but conceptually, just to show you what they intend to develop and base their development off of is this structure that is kind of historically relevant in its structure, architecture, and design. And also, and I'll pass this down, feel free to look, and also the picture in the back is an actual picture of this concept that they have built. So the only difference in this is it would not have the typical high step porch. It would be more relevant to the current architecture and houses, where it would be more kind of ground level. Other than that, you'll see that it is it's nicely designed, and again, concept. This is not necessarily going to be the actual submission and or size, square footage. It is basically the design concept to show you an idea of some elevations, showing that they want to contribute to maintaining the heritage of the architecture and the look and feel, and comply with Article 14 as well. So that is pretty much all that I had regarding the presentation and update for that. It'll be going for consideration of the lot split, and any comments or information that the board has as a result of this meeting, we'll make sure to carry through and include in consideration at the planning board.
So we're basically just saying right now that we're agreeing to something being built there. That's about it.
Right, pretty much, and if there's any indication or items that we need to make sure to focus on and gather information on before it would come back for review, now would be a good time if you come up with something between now and then. But again, there's really no formal action that we need from the board tonight, other than the fact that we just wanted to update you on it, since the demolition was approved and it's now been completed. And also, before it goes to another board, if there are any items of concern regarding considerations of the lot split, considerations of, looking for, areas of interest for the development, we want to make note of that before we continue on in further steps of the process.
Now or the next time we decide when we see what he's come up with?
Regarding the lot split now, regarding anything that would be conceptual for an actual basic development plan, once that is submitted, we'll have that information. Again, that's just conceptual, just to kind of whet the appetite to show what their intentions are. That is not considered to be an actual submission for a plan design.
Okay, but seeing that everything that's conceptual here is two-story, I'm assuming
Yes.
there won't be a surprise down the pike road.
No, they want to do two-story. They want to be able to maximize the footprint of the site, to be able to have, to maximize a livable space within the unit, and make it similar to what has currently been built, previously in the village.
And nothing with the floodplain at all? They're not gonna do anything there at all?
Well, there will be no structures built there, and again, that's at the 100-year mark where there's a drainage easement, so that's indicated. It's, if something would happen, there's water that would flow through there in a natural kind of a drainage swale, so they're aware of it. It's on the site, and they won't be putting any structures there. Okay. It's in the back part of that one site, if you can see.
Because I know there is a drain back on Ryder. There's a large drainage ditch.
There is.
So there's nothing that's gonna flow into that? Or are they gonna try to do something to ease up the water that builds in this floodplain by running it into that ditch?
It's doubtful. We'll have to
leave
take,
it as is.
we'll have to take a look at an actual site plan, but as it is now, there's really not any significant change in terms of re-elevation or regrading of the lot itself. It's relatively flat as it is.
The only reason I'm concerned is that we talked about, or I was thinking about, they're talking about a lot of green space in Bellbrook, that could be utilized for green space in any way.
Sure. Well, it's a good note and a comment, and that's the type of stuff that we'll carry through when the developer is ready. We'll make sure to say that, if there is use of that, to incorporate into existing green space or drainage. But it is, I believe there's even an easement on the back part of that. I have to double check, I'm not sure. That would really prohibit any type of redevelopment of it without either tying it into drainage that might go behind Ryder or whatever the system is in place there. But we certainly, the process itself wouldn't allow for manipulation of that, where it would redirect or affect any other properties off of this particular site regarding the flow of water coming onto and coming off of the property.
It's just such an odd
It is.
little section of land there.
It's just kind of an abutment from the one lot, because the lot's kind of almost like an L.
Yeah.
And one of the new splits will involve that longer extension. So I think if you look, what they basically plan to do with it is, it's just part of the yard, like many other yards in the community that have drainage easements in the back. Just don't build anything on it and let the water go as it always has.
So yeah, these three, with the three roof structures and the three driveways, will certainly create more drainage than what had been there before, which was one house, one small garage, and a gravel driveway. So you're picking up a whole lot more hard surface to collect, and it's gotta go somewhere.
Correct. And it has to be just with the rules from the EPA, and as well as engineering rules regarding surface water. It has to be, we don't think that it's going to rise to the level of this need for any type of detention or retention, certainly. But making sure that any direction of that does not increase the amount of water that came from the property to begin with. So that is a requirement, and something that would have to be met.
One thing I noticed, that no planned improvements as far as particularly the sidewalks. The sidewalks in general in town are not very well-maintained. So hopefully if any on this section needs improvement, now would be the time to have them improved as part of what was going on. But, you know, most of the sidewalks, having walked them, and most of the sidewalks in town need some work. So I would hope if there was any improvements on that 162 feet, now would be the time to request those to be taken care of by the
Yes,
property owner.
Certainly, if it is substandard to what is required, that would certainly be part of it. Mhm. But when we said no improvements, we meant like redesign or road widening or something like that is basically what we were referring to.
Okay, I think you touched on the letter from Yvonne Holton, who lives at 112 East Franklin. I just want to go on the record that I agree with her. Her house should not be abutting up against someone else's with just a small strip of land. They could put the driveway some other way, or build the house some other way. I definitely agree with her. She has the right to privacy.
I agree with that as well.
It
Well,
will-
it's still conceptual. I mean,
it
we
is-
got- we
it
got
is
nothing yet.
conceptual.
I
Yeah.
understand.
We got nothing
I
yet.
know, I understand that, but I just want to go on
And I
record
think the
that-
developer, I think Rob already stated, the developer's willing to work. I think she'll be okay.
Okay,
Yeah.
hopefully.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
think she's gonna be okay.
Well, the fact that the lady sent the letter to us,
Right,
I don't think it'd be wrong to mention it now.
right.
Because I didn't get it, but, but, the letter was sent, so it's good that you made a comment about it, I think.
And you feel that 54 feet versus splitting it into 2 lots is appropriate?
Yeah, if you look at some of the size of some of the other lots,
Well, the smaller lots are all commercial lots. If you look at the residential lots, they're all much larger.
but they were originally built as homes and residences, and kind of with that combined possible use, they could be converted back to residential to match the zoning, so,
Just a question.
Are the lots on Main Street, are they closer to 54 feet?
well, if you look, the other
I know this is
diagram,
Franklin, but I'm just trying to figure out, as far as the way these houses are gonna be up against each other.
on Main Street,
Right across from my, right across from my office.
Yeah, I know
there's
where
like
you're
those
talking about.
houses are right there. Is that similar to what,
I believe so, I mean, within a few feet.
okay,
That one section where you are at would be.
okay.
The rest of Main Street would not be.
Okay, because
It
I was
would
just, that's what I was
definitely
trying to get, that's what I was trying to get as far as 54 feet. You can tell me it's 54 feet, I'm gonna be like, I don't know what, you know.
Right.
So that makes it for me to be
In
able,
fact, some of those first 3 that they've been working on are probably even tighter than that,
Okay.
would be my guess.
okay.
Yeah.
There are some communities with residential, all residential, that have 60-foot lots, 65 in some, so, sure, it's tight.
Yeah.
But in the somewhat kind of downtown original,
Right.
you know, light urban type of, you know, landscape, it's very common to see, you know, some small lots, and actually that's part of the appeal a lot to some new homeowners, that they're not wanting a large lot to maintain. They want to focus on their, you know, on their home, and, but certainly, you know, consideration of the overall design and look and feel. You know, we want to make sure that it captures that and monitor that through the process.
Any other comments?
So I've got some notes on a couple things mentioned, and we'll make sure to include details on those particular things when we come back for actual development design, to make sure we can address those for you.
Could, and though he's not here, I'd like to thank Mr. Clemens for taking this on. I mean, any improvement to our village, an enhancement, it's not just good for business, it's also good for the residential areas. And I really appreciate what he's doing, so.
I know they're excited about it. He wanted to be able to come, but when we scheduled it, he had a conflict for this evening. They've got another development in another community that they had to attend, but he wanted to make sure to provide some information for you to share from his files that I passed around there. So I'll make sure to pass
I
that
mean, I
on.
think a lot of people look at I'm just speaking from where I'm coming from, but I think a lot of people think of Village Review Board and they kind of get scared and they're apprehensive and think that we're going to tear apart what they want to do. It's not that way at all. We're just trying to keep the persona of our village and try to help both business and residential areas thrive together.
Sure.
So that's where I'm coming from. And I really do appreciate what he's doing. I really do.
Type of redevelopment tends to be contagious, so we hope that it is.
Looks good.
Yes.
Okay, very good. Is there anything else?
I don't think so.
I had nothing else.
Okay. Very good.
Motion to adjourn the meeting?
You guys all want to stay? I second it.
Can I get it? I was like, I need a second.
All in favor?
Aye.
For everyone's information, the firehouse open house is happening right now. Actually, we might have missed Care Flight coming in, because I think they were supposed to land at like 6:15. I think so. But anyway, thank you all.
Thanks.
I'm heading there.
Open house. I didn't even know there was one.
I didn't either.
Oh, well.
Over for quite some time.